Thank you for the opportunity to share Judy's story. Unfortunately, once the last recording between Judy and our emergency services was made, there was no further contact between her and Gotti and anybody else. When search parties returned within the next 24 hours to search the area about which she was very specific, where they had been shot and wounded, she was shot in the face and in the arm, Gotti apparently more seriously. There were no bodies. And other than her eyeglasses, which were found in the specific area that she reported being shot in, there was no evidence that they had been there. Their bodies have since disappeared. They have since disappeared. And we have absolutely no information, no intelligence from any entity who is holding them, where in Gaza they are, and what their condition is. We can assume that unless they were given expert professional medical attention immediately, that after 70 days of being captive by Hamas in Gaza, that the situation is very dire. We are agonizing, we are frustrated, we are sad, we are worried, and we are angry. We want Judy and all the hostages back in Israel. These were civilians out on a morning walk, not military, not anybody in a diplomatic or governmental or military position. Out on a morning walk, they were shot and abducted.
We have seen some hostages, they did get medical attention and were held by Hamas and have been released. Are you hearing anything from the IDF that they are in custody and with Hamas and being held captive? What gives you hope at this point that they're going to return home?
Well, what gives us hope is that is all we have at this point, is to maintain our hope and to maintain our journey and our struggle of publicizing the story of Judy and Gotti and all 138 of the hostages, because we have had absolutely no information, either from Israeli intelligence or army, or other entities with which the Israeli government has been working, which includes the United States government, the FBI, the Secretary of State, Qatar, at times Egypt. There have been other parties that have been brought in, and there are other parties who are being persuaded to join the negotiations in order to gain back all the hostages from the Hamas. So we have no information, nothing.
You know, Ariel, we were actually showing the poster of your cousin and her husband, the kidnapped poster, which, by the way, as you know, they've made it to New York City, and they've been seen in cities across the country, the ones that remain that have not been torn down. And it is a reminder that there are people behind the numbers who have been taken hostage. Talk to me about the impact of the signage, why you think it's important that those signs remain.
Well, Emma, you probably know as well that those posters have been seen and hung across Europe. There are places even in Southeast Asia where people, just through word of mouth, we have found out that they have been hung in Thailand and Bangkok and Singapore and Japan. It's quite remarkable. And I think what the story behind the widespread use of these posters is to remind the worldwide public that we're just talking about simple civilian people who had nothing planned for that day other than a sunrise walk, or the 100 or so captives that were taken from the Nova Trance Music Festival early in the morning of October 7th, or the agricultural workers from the kibbutzim and the moshavim settlements along the border with Gaza, who were just out and about on a Saturday morning. There were families taken from their homes, from their beds, children taken from their cribs, tortured, murdered, burnt, abducted without their parents, parents abducted without their children after their children being murdered in front of them, or children who had to watch their parents being murdered. I think that on a human level, these posters are a reminder that something like that could happen to any one of us at any time when you have the threat of terror in an otherwise civil, democratic nation. I think it touches everybody that I've ever spoken to. Unlikely it's probably touched you and your viewers and listeners as well.